I don't know if it's right. Thank you.
Now it's blue. Yep. And then the name under subsection D, item number 2 will be Scott Perkins. With that, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Go ahead. So moved.
And seconded.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. So move on to the appointments. Item number 1 is a Chamber of Commerce appointment. That would be you, Tabitha, to represent the town on the Chamber Board. Does that make you happy?
Absolutely. Well, we're welcome. We welcome Tabitha. We're so happy to have her. Very lucky.
Do we need a motion and all the official?
I don't think so, you can
Just make the appointments. So the Lodging Tax Board appointment will be Councilman Mixon, Mr. Kelly Mixon for the Lodging Tax Board. And then the Board of Adjustments gets a new member tonight, and that's Mr. Brett Baum. Thank you guys for volunteering and helping out on these appointments.
Was that a surprise?
And moving on, we've got a couple of oath of offices. The first one up is for Kimberly Witt to join the Wheatland Police Department. And Kimberly, if you'd come up, the chief can help you up here, and the town attorney will administer your oath of office to you.
Just go right
I'll read it slow.
Thank you.
Raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me. I, Kimberly Witt,
I, Kimberly Witt,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey, and defend the Constitution
obey, and defend the Constitution
of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wyoming.
of
United States.
of the United States
And the Constitution of the State of Wyoming.
and the Constitution of the State of Wyoming,
That I have not knowingly violated
that I have not knowingly violated
any law
any law
related to my officer's appointment
related to my officer's appointment
or caused it to be done by others.
or caused to be done by others,
That I will discharge
and that I will discharge
the duties of my office
the duties
Go.
the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Welcome, congratulations.
Call it that.
I'll stay seated next time.
Wait, I want
How close are we, Brad?
What's that?
How close are we?
Down one.
to.
I still have days.
You do.
He's cutting her close. We have days. I still have a few more days in December.
We're getting Kelly to volunteer for everything else.
She's frowning at you now, Josh.
Talk smack at a distance.
The other oath of office will be for the newly selected council member to fulfill the unexpired term of Mr. Allison as he stepped away for medical reasons. So Scott, if you want to stand up and take your oath of office with Attorney Weaver.
You raise your right hand, please. Repeat after me. I, Scott Perkins,
I, Scott Perkins,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey,
obey,
and defend the Constitution of the United States
obey and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wyoming.
and the Constitution of the State of Wyoming,
That I have not knowingly violated
that I have not knowingly violated
any law related to my elected office
any law related to my elected office
or caused it to be done by others,
or caused to be done by others,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, man, right into it.
Welcome to the hot seat. Hold on.
Here, let's get.
We give.
Yeah, let's get this prepared.
Everybody.
Welcome.
Condolences. There's your pen, there's the cards.
There's 40 of them?
Yep.
You also have in the electronic version of the consent agenda. And for the purpose of discussion, I would entertain a motion to approve and place to record the consent agenda items.
So moved.
Second. Been moved and seconded. All in favor? Whoop. Is there discussion? We don't want to just move on, I guess. Is there any discussion on the consent agenda items? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. To the petitions, memorials, proclamations, and public comment section, item number 1 is Michelle McGuire. And Michelle, what we do is have you take the podium and state your name and talk to us, because that's where YouTube picks you up.
Right behind you.
Maybe a handspring, quick backflip, something.
I'm Michelle McGuire. My husband Steve McGuire is here also, and I know a few of you, I don't, obviously, but we owned the trailer court there on 16th and Raleigh. And about July, we had rented lifts to remove trees at our various rentals. And my husband Steve was contacted by the city and put in touch with the general contractor on the 16th Street project. And right before we were ready to take those trees out, there was 2 trees right on 16th that we were going to take out. They asked him not to and requested that they take them out. And so Steve says, okay, but I have my guys here and I've rented this lift. And we had that planned for the week, or the couple weeks. So we didn't take them out. We'd heard nothing, but we've seen obviously progress on 16th Street. And lo and behold, they had cut the roots right to the edge of the trees. And of course they fell over. I'm sure you guys seen them. It's a lovely balls right on 16th Street. At that time, my husband contacted the city, and Tabitha got a hold of the contractor and got him in touch with the general contractor that he had talked to. And everyone agreed, they had agreed to take out those trees, but they did not. And then they fell over. There's scar marks. We have pictures if you want to see them, but you guys see them. They're right there on me. Where they had hit the trees, those kind of things, which they were dead. It wasn't that's not the issue, but the trees fell over, damaged the camper that was there, damaged a little of our roof. We had someone come and cut up the wood that was there, asked if they could have it, the wood, but they were clearly in where the sidewalk was going to go, and they had agreed to take those out. Well, instead of taking the root balls, they took and moved them at least twice, maybe 3 times, up more onto our property. Okay, and then they also, there's a large rock that they took from the road somewhere, it was not on our property, and put it right on the side, or by these root balls. So I guess we're asking the city, and I visited Tabitha and really got Steve had visited Tabitha, got no resolution. I visited with her and really didn't hear anything back. All we're really wanting you guys to do is come and get those root balls. Go by what your contractor agreed to do. We just want that cleaned up. We've taken care of the camper, we've fixed our roof. We just would like you guys to pick up after, I guess, your contractor. And I know maybe it wasn't the city that did it, I'm not saying it's the city, but it was the city contractor that agreed to. And we just feel that we're not asking for a favor, we just feel that it's really more of the city's responsibility to come and pick those up because you agreed to. And they were definitely, I mean, we have pictures. They were right where the sidewalk went. And they wouldn't have had to move them 3 times, shoving them back up on our property. So that's item number 1. Do you have any questions on that, or any questions of Steve on that?
Michelle, I'd be interested to see the photos, just
Okay.
so I can actually say, yeah, I saw this this way.
Yep.
Well, I didn't print any off, but I do have them right here.
Can you send them to me?
Sure.
I don't think I can send them, but
Steven!
I can swipe them.
Technology eluding you, Stephen?
Yeah.
Send them, Jason, send them to yourself, please.
Okay.
Jason will figure it out.
Oh,
See,
yeah, I can show
okay.
you what. So that's the rock.
Okay.
And so if you look down there, they were right there and the wind blew them over because they had them all dug around.
Yep.
And I mean, they had a loader there, they had a dump truck, 3 times they moved them. Just put them in the damn truck.
Yeah. Okay. Just to make best decision, I just want to make sure we saw that.
I mean, you can see where the trees were all guyed up, where they were running into them with the loaders and stuff. I mean, I told the guy, well, why didn't you just text me and say you weren't going to do it?
Right, we were never contacted that they weren't
You know
gonna do
what I
it,
mean.
that it wasn't their,
But-
I mean, they told us they would, and so we just assumed until they fell over and it became a problem. even if they wouldn't have fell over, they would have had the problem of getting them moved out of the way of the sidewalk. So they just happened to fall over.
Now number 2.
Okay. In about July, Weaver McGuire's office had a water leak. The city came and fixed our water leak, so it's not leaking in the alley right now. But since then, we've had not enough pressure to flush my toilet and wash my hands at the same incident. Gotta wait for either. We contacted the city multiple times. Tim Weaver owns the building, but I obviously rent it from him. And we've had no resolution. They came and tested because we thought maybe it was our problem after they fixed the pipe. And they acknowledged it was not our problem, that pipe running along there between us and the print shop, old print shop, had an issue and we're not getting water pressure. But I just want to have an idea of when I can have water at my office, I guess. If it has to be put into the budget, or, I mean, I don't know how big a project this is. The city came and patched our alley, and the day that happened, we talked to Rick multiple times, and we talked to Tabitha a few times, we talked to Laurent a few times. The day they came and patched our alley, we called and like, yeah, wait, don't put asphalt there, we still don't have any water, and we still have no resolution. So I guess I'm coming to you guys to say, can you put it in the budget if that's what it has to be done, because we really have no water.
So Michelle, we haven't forgotten about you, and we just put it in the YDOT, because to be able to cut that road, we have to get a permit from YDOT. So they're getting the permit, and then they will be replacing your line.
So we do have a time frame on that, and we are actually in the.
I thought Rick was in contact with you last week about it.
No, we've heard nothing from
Sorry
him.
about that, but yeah. So,
Well, that's all I wanted on that.
That one's in
Have water
progress.
at my office. Yeah.
so.
Okay, that's it.
As far as the tree removal and some of that stuff, the rock, whatever, I'm assuming Oftall's checked out of the picture already.
We'll be back in the spring.
They'll be back in the spring, but I mean, do we wanna,
Why don't we just?
we don't wanna ride,
That's it,
on
yeah,
their property until spring, I mean.
right.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter to us.
It doesn't
We
matter.
can make them do it. make
The
them
next
do it.
thing that'll happen is you guys will send us a letter to clean up. I'm not kidding you.
No,
What if we can put Doug on a leash? Can we work till next spring?
Yeah, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, they're not moving. We don't have a way to move them, honestly.
Let's be honest, getting Oftall to do it next spring may be more difficult than we think.
I was gonna say, can we
To be honest.
Yeah.
get a crew over there? Can't take.
Have they done, do we have confirmation they agreed to actually do this?
When I talked to Optimal, they said that they'd never really agreed.
Never
But
really?
I remember that they called me, and I called Steven, gave him Steven's number, and they called Steven.
Yeah.
So what happened between Josh and Steven that day, I can't tell you exactly what happened, but I did give Optimal Steven's number.
Well, yeah, and he called me, or I called him, whatever. And he said he did. Anyway, he told me he would do it because the state said it was in their scope of work. So then after they blew over, I called him back and I said, I called the city and in a real nice way, they told me to, and I said, do you remember that conversation? He says, yes, I do remember it. And I told you I wouldn't move them, but I got moved to another job, so I'm not even there. And I said, well, why didn't you call me? And, or he said, well, they came in and surveyed it and said, well, it wasn't in their road. Well, then, I mean, if you go and look where they graded it and where the stumps, I mean, they completely had to move them. Anyway, either way, even if they had never talked to me, it was in the line. I mean, they were my trees and I was planning on taking them out, but.
Don't get me wrong, I wasn't questioning your integrity. I was trying to get the point across of, if we do it, I'm all about it, but we also charge them.
That was kind of my theory too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
But is that really, I mean, we might as well just go do it.
Yeah.
Cause then it's out of one pocket into the next.
No, I'm saying is,
You
we go
know?
and do it and go, okay, cool, you owe us whatever amount of money that we put labor and equipment into.
The contract's with the state of Wyoming. Our contract is with the state of Wyoming.
I mean, you can always try it.
Yeah.
I just.
I say go through it and give it a
To
shot.
make, yeah, to make
No,
the situation clear. I
Make
think
it a
we should
point.
just go clear it up,
Yep.
Yeah.
and we can fight the fight on the back end.
Yeah, I say make a point out of it.
And it's Greenway, so we really don't charge anybody.
Okay.
No, but actually the equipment and moving of it, I
Can we
think
get our crew over there to get
our
it done?
personnel time,
I'm sure we can.
time and equipment.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm good with just getting a crew over there and getting it taken care of.
but yeah, I track the hours and the equipment we use and everything else in that and then send them the bill.
Okay. Do we need to, anything on that, or just
No, I
advise it?
think there's,
I think Tabitha's
you
got
have
her
guidance
marching
to
orders.
get the guys over there to clean that up.
Does that kind of help?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
Again, don't question, don't, I wasn't questioning
No,
your
I know.
integrity, I'm
No,
just trying
it's
to
fine.
get to the bottom so I know how to say something.
Yeah, I mean, I should have probably wrote it down when he called me or recorded him, but I didn't really think about it. It's like, well, I'm glad to see that. Thank you.
You are welcome. You shouldn't be burdened by, so thank you for bringing it forward. Item number 2 is Kylie Bills. I do not see her in attendance. So we will move on. Are there any other public comments, or Tresha, do you have anything for us at this point?
Well, you know, just my little update. I'm Tresha Cancino, CEO of the Platte County Chamber of Commerce. Just a quick update on what we've been doing. We're still working on our big bike race, the Tour de Platte. The planning's going very well. For those of you that don't know what it is, it's going to be May 15th and 16th. It's a gravel bike race. It's 94 miles. It's going to visit all of our towns to bring exposure to our towns. So it's the tourism piece. It'll bring some economic impact. We'll have 70, this year we're going to limit it to 76 riders. And because of the 250th, 1776. So we're also planning our big 2026 agriculture and membership appreciation gala. We're changing it up again this year. This in February 20. It's February 21st. We still have to make sure we lock that down with the Agriplex, but that's tomorrow. And it's going to be black tie optional this year. So because again, in celebration of the 250th, we're doing all kinds. The entire nation's doing all kinds of things for the 250th birthday. So it will be. It's different this year. It's not just agriculture appreciation. It's also our membership annual meeting, annual banquet, if you will. But this year, like I said, we're calling it the gala because we're stepping it up just a little bit. It'll be semi-formal, black tie optional. We're also pairing with the 2 school districts with their consumer sciences department for the culinary experience. So we'll have mentors working with the students to create the event. So even though the chamber and all of the adults are still doing it, we're dragging along the kids too, helping them learn how to do these sorts of things. Again, it goes hand in hand with CTE and all the, all the motion and the movement that's taking place to decide what we can do to bring the 80% of kids that leave our county and our state out to go outside and work outside to bring them back. So we're just there. Megan Degenfelder had a big meeting here in Wheatland at Spaghetti West, talking about what kind of curriculum can we add to our school district and to our programs to help figure out how we keep these kids here and stop the outflow of our talent leaving our state and our county. So that's our part in helping out with that. Other than that, that's what we're doing.
Other than that,
That's all we're
right?
doing. So, yeah, any questions? Oh, good deal. Thanks, guys.
Is there any other public comment at this time? Hearing none, we'll move on to unfinished business, which there is none, so straight into new business. You have before you Resolution 10-2025, which is a budget amendment.
Mhm.
And I don't know, Tabitha, do you want to speak to any of it? Do you want?
Okay, so the budget amendment is just for the PD, basically, the dispatcher agreement that we made. And then, we budgeted last year for a snowplow truck. They told us it was gonna be here in July, so we wrote the check in June. We canceled the check because it never came. It's finally here.
Of course it is.
So, now we need to amend the budget to account for that.
And pray for snow.
Those are the two amendments,
We need those.
and with it being such a big budget year, I figured we would, I don't see us taking anything out of, capital projects.
Probably
And
not.
we already minimized that so much that we'll have to do the general fund transfer. That's where the money will come from, is the general fund savings.
Make a motion to approve resolution 10-2025 for the budget.
Second.
Third. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Action item number 2 is the cooperative agreement with the state of Wyoming pertaining to the 2026 airport crack seal project.
So on this one, the state of Wyoming will come in and do a crack seal, and then Ardura will do all the rest for the, what is it, seal coat and markings.
Make a motion to approve the cooperative agreement with the state of Wyoming on the 2026 airport cracks.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
The task order carries into the same thing, correct?
Yeah, it's just for Ardura to do the seal coating and markings.
Ardura will actually just be the engineer, site engineer.
You'll have another contract with somebody else to do that. Ardura's gonna design it.
Right.
But it,
So it just ties into the whole process of this, yeah. All right, then I make a motion for task order 25-02 Ardura 2026 seal coat and marking at the airport.
Moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And the last topic under new business is police topics. Police topics make my hair want to get pulled out.
Very narrow scope, isn't it?
Well, I mean, there's been kind of a chain of negative events with the building, and I will give the floor to Brad and let him kind of bring everybody up to speed.
So, as I kind of made mention in our end of month report, that we had an issue with our heaters over there. We have a total of 4 heater units, and on the 28th of November, we actually had to call the fire department in Black Hills in. Our officers were smelling and having some funny feelings, and ended up having a pretty significant CO leak in our building. So Black Hills came in. The CO levels were about 100 parts per million. Not enough to kill you, but it's going to make you sick. Our front office folks were actually starting to get headaches, and so it's been going on for a little while at least. Black Hills came in. They did their magic and wonderful. They red tagged all of our units, shut our gas off. So we actually spent the Thanksgiving weekend over there with no heat. I do want to say that the sheriff's department, I talked to them, they opened their doors, allowed our officers to go over and have a warm building to do their reports and do their stuff. So very grateful that they helped us out and took us in on that time. Since I had a technician come over, they actually came over on the 1st of December, kind of did a walkthrough of all of our units. Found multiple issues, unfortunately. Unit 1, there was the heat exchanger was cracked, and unfortunately there's no small fix for that. It's a complete unit replacement. Unit 2 was emitting heat, but the heat levels, or the heat limit levels, were hitting the peaks and shutting it off and locking it, and that was actually emitting carbon monoxide into the front office. So that got shut down. Unit 3, the tech was able to kind of rob parts from the other two, replaced the igniter on it, and got it running temporarily. One thing that has changed and a new development as of today, we lost unit 3 and 4 today. So we are back to not having any heat in our office. We've got electrical heat going in right now, keeping us somewhat warm to where we need to be, but it's still not adequate. The solution to this, we've kind of gone over a couple different things. There's one option where they can do split units, which are the units like individual rooms, but we will need 10 different heads because one goes in each room, and they'll need a couple units to run those heads, plus all the electrical. We're looking at about $55,000 to $60,000 for that upgrade, or that fix. The other fix is kind of a little bit more lengthy, but we would remove units 1 and 2 and 3, replace it with one bigger unit. The other problem with doing that is all the ductwork that we currently have in our office runs underground, and we ran cameras through that ductwork and it has collapsed. So we do not have adequate ductwork running through our office because it's collapsed. So what they would have to do is run suspended ductwork, redo all the ductwork in there, do suspended throughout the building. For that, we're looking at about $35,000 to $40,000. So that does not include with the hot water heater. That is also bad. It was installed in 2013. Technically, and I just learned this last week, we actually haven't had hot water installed at any of the sinks that we have in our office. So the only sink that had hot water was our kitchen, and that's been removed out because we were looking at putting in an evidence room. So none of our bathrooms have hot water. So we're kind of cold there. The big problem that we run into, and with this project, is this isn't the only thing that we're running into with our building that needs fixed, upgraded, repaired, just to get us by. Our roof we have located a leak in the, above the the hot water room and the heater room that was causing part of the problem because the venting is now not up to code. So we have to redo the roof. There's a small room in the back of the there's a small room in the back of the building that houses one of our heaters. That roof is completely damaged and is leaking, so we need to replace that roof. All the soffit and fascia in the back of the building needs to be replaced. And we have actually 2 support beams that run the width of the room or the building that are weather rotted, damaged, and there's going to be some significant work that's going to be having to done to that so we don't lose our roof, essentially. The front parking lot needs to be replaced. So there's a lot of money that needs to be put into this building and for us to be over there. I have done some research looking into some other options. What I was looking at was potentially a new building, and I've looked at pre-existing buildings that are currently in place right now. There's not a whole lot there. We did go and tour the old Ace Hardware building out on Ferdig. It's a big property. There's buildings out there. Give us land to expand if need be. Again, it's an old building. There's going to be a lot of remodel and what we'd have to do to get that. He's asking $700,000 for that lot out there. We're looking at probably dropping in, at a guess, just going off of what our estimate was for the old Brown building, we're looking at probably 300,000 to 500,000 just to get walls built, everything along those lines for the Ace Hardware, because it's just a shell. We'd have to go in and put all the walls and everything into it. The other building that we looked into was the old medical clinic right down here off of 8th Street. That is for sale. They're asking for 175,000 for that. We toured it. It's just not big enough for what we would need to do. The parking is an issue, so there's just not there. We looked at the old weight room or workout center over here on 8th Street or 9th Street, right across from the The problem with that is, again, parking. There's no parking for patrol vehicles and public. Then we also looked at the old clubhouse down here off of 8th and Gilchrist. Again, it's really small. It doesn't suit our needs. So at that point, there's no other buildings that are currently built in place that we could even try to look at. So I took it a little bit step further and looked at building new, building purpose built for a police department. There's a couple different places right here on 8th and Gilchrist. There's a big open parking lot. The town actually owns that land, but so we could use that, which would be a benefit of being downtown. We'd look at building a 2-story building for there. During my talk and looking into this, we would look at putting in a municipal court office. So we'd have a dedicated municipal judge, chamber, office, everything. And then also Wyoming Probation and Parole put in a couple offices for them. So they were in with us, security purposes with them. They're in a building right now that is less than adequate for them. They would like to jump in with us, and we'd be able to look at like a rental agreement with them for office space. So with that building, we're looking at we could get up to a building about 800 square feet and that's 2 levels, or 8,000 square feet. So 8,000 square feet is what we could get with that building. Again, with that, we would be looking at trying to get a classroom built in there where we could have and house and host trainings for the department. We would be able to get with those trainings. Usually if we bring them in, they're giving us free spots. So it benefits us as well. The classroom would benefit the town employees and the town departments where we could house training for them as well. So we're looking at a couple different things with an estimation. I talked to a couple contractors. They said a good estimate would be about $300 per square foot. So with the 800,000 square building, you're looking at about 2.4 million for a new building there at 8th and Gilchrist. The other option that we looked into is the open lots and spaces down off of Sherrard Road. Right there at the corner of Sherrard and Swanson, there's a lot. It's 4.9 acres. They've told me what they would do for a price for the town would be roughly 160,000, and we'd be able to have the big lot. So the benefits with that is it already has the 3-phase electrical built into it. It's a pretty good location. We have multiple avenues to get into and out of the different parts of the town. It'd be a single-story building that we would be looking at. With the size of the lot, I would propose that we take the first 2/3 of the building or the lot and turn that into the police department and we'd have space for an animal shelter that is in great need of needing to be repaired, fixed, and put up. We'd also be able to get the vehicle impound lot down there where we're at. And then the back 1/3, I know there's issues with the town mechanic shop not being adequate to be able to do his job with not being able to get the big trucks in. So there's plenty of space where we could, at a date, put the mechanic shop down there as well. Again, putting probation and parole in there, having a dedicated spot for the municipal court. We'd have a 2-car pull-through garage that would give us the ability to do our searches. Officers would park their vehicles into it where at night we don't have to leave them running to keep the windshields clear. Within that garage area, we'd have an evidence processing center. So you process the evidence, put it right in evidence, and none of the stuff comes into the building contaminating any of the rest of the police department. We'd be looking at approximately about a 7,000 square foot building around there. Again, with the $300 evaluation, we're looking at about 2.1 million. The land of 160,000 total estimated. I'm not a person to, draw blueprints and stuff. This is just my rough guesses. Would be about 2.3 million for the lot down off of Sherrard. So I talked about probation. I have been in contact with the supervisor for the probation department in the state and the gal that is in charge of like the building contracts for leases. They are on board. They like the idea. They would love to get the current probation agents into a more secure, safe facility with the police department. They said it was a very quick and pretty painless process to get them transferred over and get a contract signed with the town for a lease agreement for a couple office spaces. Municipal court, again, they would have dedicated space. We could house courts there. They give us the office space. He would be able to work closely with the police department. So there's a lot of benefit with that. So ultimately, my proposal, my ask is that we suspend the current construction projects that are going on at the police department. The evidence room has not been started. We would be able to take the current evidence lockers that we were going to put in there and use those for the new building to repurpose them. They would work fine with it. There's no issues there. So we'd stop any construction over there. We would not put the money into replacing the heaters and spending that money. I've been in contact with the HVAC tech. He's going to be probably over Wednesday to get the other units 3 and 4 up and running. He's pretty confident that he'll be able to rob parts from the other 2 to get the 3rd one running to get us by, so we can get through. The heaters are working, like the space heaters, we're getting by. So right now, that's kind of where I'm at with my proposal. I would ask that we start doing the negotiation and looking at trying to get the lot located at Swanson and Sherrard, and then move forward with trying to get in contact with an engineer and start looking at blueprints and getting a better idea of what the size of building we'd be looking at for. So that's kind of where we're at.
Well, that was just a small mouthful.
It's just a small, I'm glad I had notes, but.
What, Trisha just kind of put me onto something too. What is the, Impact Church looking like? Isn't it for sale?
Last I heard it was 700,000, I think is what they were asking for that building, 7 or 750.
The other concern would be the parking too, is.
I believe that has been put on hold though,
Okay.
for it being on sale, or for sale.
My problem is anything we look at, it's gonna be old and we're gonna put a bunch of money into it again. This building over here was supposed to be,
This building was a stopgap
that's exactly right.
15 years ago.
That's exactly right.
And we have kicked the can down
And
the
I'm-
road to the
honestly,
point
I'm surprised we'd have more problems than we have. It just so happens that they all came the first time and all of them at once.
Well, the current building was bought in '85, and not really a newspaper article that they write up when we bought this building for the towns.
Right.
We're in at 96.
I haven't looked at a bunch of the buildings in town for business.
96 we were
They
at.
all need a lot of work.
Absolutely, that's it.
I mean, there are maybe some favorable price points per square footage of existing building, but when you look at the modernization
Right.
or the remodel or
Use one
whatever,
price for
you're,
everything.
you're, you're right at the cost of new, and if we could do new purpose built, comes with some warranty and some manufacturer, you know, reassurance and stuff like that. I mean, if we're gonna spend money, my vote would be to start new and build something.
This has
with
been a
vision.
contention for how long that we've had to fight with this, where we're gonna put this, where we're
As long as I can remember.
Exactly right, exactly right.
Put them in the old gym right next to the landmark, never mind.
Yeah, it's got a door.
Big garage in the back.
Big garage in the back.
You're right.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't,
no.
I have been anguishing for days over this, and hence the cryptic nature of the topic on the agenda, because it's not an easy one to just spell out in an agenda item, the small mouthful that he just shared with everybody. Because when he started talking to me, I'm thinking, okay, well, what's the Band-Aid look like to fix the heating system? But, well, then there's the hot water problem, and then there's, I mean,
Well, yeah,
it just,
well, as soon as we dump a bunch of money in there, the next thing pops up, then we're
Yeah,
dumping
the roof
more money.
failure.
So the electrical is another big problem, so we keep upgrading and doing that stuff. This building was not designed for the electrical pole that we're putting on that with all the electronics that we're currently using. Just the other day, I actually
to make coffee.
went to make coffee and tripped a breaker just making coffee, so, there's,
So we're gonna burn it.
We'll have some.
I mean.
No, it's cinder block, it won't burn.
No.
Yeah.
There's that. You're good there.
And with that being said, with the cinder block, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a
That's
big
its own
issue for us is we have no insulation value to that heat or that buildings. So any heat that we are putting into it, it is escaping just as fast. I was sitting next to the wall the other day and there's a huge draft that comes through those bricks. I didn't realize, and until I was sitting there. So with a new building, we could have the insulation value. It's going to be more energy efficient. There's a lot of benefit to it.
And I tasked Brad with the idea of meeting with a contractor somewhere to just give a rough idea, and I mean, he talked to a couple and it was about the same, about $300 a square foot for that type of construction for that
That's what
type
you're
of
looking
building.
at for commercial, right? Yeah, I mean,
It's a pretty particular thing that you
It is.
need.
It is. And purpose built, I mean, this is, the nice thing about it is it's gonna be around for a while. I mean, it's gonna serve the community for,
Generational.
right, I mean, it's something that's not just gonna be a short-term thing, it's gonna serve for
Well,
years
that
to come.
investment over the life of the building is minuscule compared to some of the other financial
Right.
decisions we make, but you're still talking a couple $1 million. And on the back end of a 16th Street project that was a
Still-
bleed to us financially.
And a fire truck.
I mean,
And a new truck coming in.
plow truck, fire truck, I mean,
water tower.
water tower.
And don't get me wrong, I'm biased. I'm biased in this regard
I
anyway.
personally think that we've put as many chrome wheels on this dump truck as we can put on it.
I agree.
And,
I think we cease
I
and
think we should
desist.
pursue actually something that is made for this purpose versus this might work.
This really isn't the best year to do this, but I
Right.
don't know when there will be.
Well,
Right.
And I'm holding my comments because I am biased in this regard. For those of you who don't know me, I'm also a career cop. So,
Who worked out of that very.
who worked out of that very building, back when we had the Crown Vics.
So how do we get the ball rolling on this? How do you wanna fund it?
So,
How do you
okay,
wanna-
so I've looked into a couple of funding options and a couple of things that we could do. Actually, we're gonna be asked to come to the commissioners meeting next month because our 6-penny tax is going to be collected a little bit sooner than I think. We have about 36 months from being paid off. So they wanna know if they wanna put it on the next ballot. But
Yeah, there's
the
always a
other thing they
ballot
want us to
issue.
remember is that the state of Wyoming is trying to take property taxes away.
Oh, yeah.
You do that, then you put another 2%, now you're looking at an eighth penny tax. How likely is that to be voted in? So I've also looked at like the SLIB, capital, construction loans with the state. Looks like, you know, you just have to apply for it, they give you a 5% fee for originating it, and then, it won't be less than 3%, but it'll go off the IRS market. But that could be an option.
It's a fairly
But we're
low interest
still-
loan, so.
We're still three years out for 16th Street to be paid off. So if we do this, it would take our general fund down a lot. We'd have to find loans or other avenues to pursue this if you wanted to do it right away.
And I have done a little bit of research on grants. Unfortunately, a grant that's gonna cover a new construction for a police department it's just not there. They don't have those available for us. So I have looked in, trying to solve problems. I mean, we don't have the grants available for that, so.
And having searched vehicles in the town shop, in the YDOT shops, in areas that you don't want to be out in the cold and the wind, and you want to secure the evidence to help out the prosecution. You want a secure environment. You want your officers in a secure environment, not being exposed to weather conditions that they should not be exposed to needlessly. Obviously, you're out in the elements anyway. And evidence securing is a big process besides getting good convictions on it, so you have to make sure the evidence rooms are accurate. There's a lot, Jason, I hate to do this, but I agree with you.
It's all right, I'm used to it.
But, I mean, you can only put so much lipstick on a pig. In the end of the day, it's still a pig. And you just have to pull the trigger and get it done. I mean, yes, we're trying to be good stewards of the money, but it's also how much are we going to keep throwing at this one item?
Right.
And you're sinking money into this pit that we're not going to get any return on the investment on.
And it's still not meeting the full needs of.
And that's the thing, is how much are we going to keep throwing our money away?
If we fix what's broken, we're not even, still not up to what we needed.
No.
Right. If we could fix a few things that are broken, maybe we could get it sold.
Right,
Someone
right, right.
would just love it.
And with
You
the,
making the wheels problem shaped like
Yeah.
talking with the technician, he can come, he's pretty confident he'll be able to, like I said, steal parts from the others to get the third one running. The fourth unit needs a new circuit panel, and he said that's anywhere between $250 to $500 to get that. So, I mean, that gives us some heat in the building, that way we're not completely frozen, but
No, I agree.
we've been doing good for the last, for this week, with the heaters stuff running, so
And
we're.
space heaters are going to burn through the electrical left and right. And
Yeah, that makes your electrical problem that much worse.
We're tripping breakers,
Tripping breakers.
There's just too many
Shut
problems.
electronics down just to be able to run the heaters, so.
And your fire hazard goes up with you running space heaters. It's not functional.
And OSHA doesn't like us either, so.
They want that building.
Nope.
That's what OSHA thinks.
Check them out.
Why don't we, I'm spitballing here, why don't we have Brad on it? Why don't we put a board together here and get this figured out and do it?
What about, and this, I'm going to spitball here with this one. You talked about bringing down the pound, the kennel, whatever you want to call it. What about grants for that? That's another avenue with,
I can check with the ASPCA, I think, whatever that long.
look at that as well.
Laramie Peak has a established one, I can touch base with them and see what they use. for
See what they
funding.
have to help at least with some of the funding behind this. I agree with, I've been in the kennel up there. I agree with having it closer to town, being maintained and monitored by the police department to make sure it's easier for transport. You're not going all the way out to drop it off.
Well, the roof is in need of repair on that other one, I mean, the rain.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
that pound was built many years ago, and it was supposed to be a lifespan of not what it has been.
Yeah, look at grants for that as well. I think that's gonna be one thing you can track down, especially with, the SPCA. It's probably a good avenue to approach on that. The vehicles.
Yeah, if there's any aspect.
So the nice thing about bringing probation and parole into it, like I said, is, we get, it's a revenue that would help pay for, basically the loan or whatever that, you know.
Yeah.
Just hypothetically, if they're paying $2,000 a month at the current facility, I mean, we could look at $1,000, $1,500 and still saving the town or the state money, which that's their end goal with this, but we're still getting a pretty good chunk of money to help pay for.
Yeah, some of the
Our
O and
side
M
of
on your own building.
What's that?
Some of the O and M on your own
Yeah,
building.
yeah.
That'd be helpful.
That will help. Also, anything you can think of, like weapon storage, ammunition storage, anything like that, that could be a grant-based. I mean, I would just dig into every weed that you can consider that's gonna come out of the PD. And especially you can tie in probation and parole, you're gonna tie in town. You said the town trucks or town maintenance?
Yeah, well, yeah, the town maintenance, I mean, that could be something at a later date. I mean, we wouldn't have to go build the town maintenance right away unless that's what you guys wanna do, but
I'm trying to think of anything that we can bring in. That's
the
gonna be
land
something
is
different.
big enough for that.
You see where I'm going with the grants and trying to see what we can hit with money?
Yeah, we'll start turning over rocks, see what we find.
That's what I would recommend. That will help at least mitigate part of the nonsense.
Have you talked to Candy at all?
Tabitha visited, and again, the grant route is not there.
Pretty minimal for an actual police department.
Makes sense.
It's all a little
But we do have the
dodgy.
slip, like, that we could try.
I was gonna say, there
Normal
there
construction
might be
loan.
some grant opportunity
But
there.
it might be easier just to go through a regular bank too, so, who knows?
Yeah, then we can shop at local, I mean,
See who gives you the best rate.
we got some banks here that are pretty aggressive at times to help us out.
I'm saying nitpicking anything we can to get some funds in.
I think we gotta figure out how much money it's actually gonna cost when we need to get engineering.
And that's kind of where I was,
Get an architect involved.
with your guys' motion or approval, I would like to start looking at the revenue for the land and then talking with an engineer that actually knows what they're doing instead of me trying to draw at my desk. It doesn't work out very well.
I bet those
Someone
are
that-
fantastic.
They're actually, you know what? I like
Some great Mickey Mouse drawings.
But get something going that we actually have a better idea and understanding of what the costs were. So again, within the next month, if I could do that, and actually talking with an engineer, it's gonna cost money. I get it, and having them put work towards it, but that's kind of where I'm asking for that approval and permission to go forth and do those two things.
I'm good with
Negotiate a price on the land and get it procured and engage an engineer on a hard number.
Correct.
Well, I think we might be able to talk to PCD too, they have 2 lots, so.
That we gave them.
Mm-hmm.
So the lot, I looked into it, so the lot that's right next to the one that I looked at, it's just shy of 3 acres, so it's a little bit smaller. I don't know if we'd be able to get the mechanics building in on that, but they're asking 180 for that lot. So it's actually quite a bit more than what the lot that we were talking with is owned by Sherrard's, and they dropped it pretty significant for the town.
The town did give PCD those
Right,
lots,
have
so
you-
maybe they can
those
give us.
have you asked PCD
Right.
the town to buy it at the
Right.
price?
Right. Right.
Since we gave them to them for free.
Sounds fair.
Well, they're gonna have a change in leadership here in
Have to talk
January.
to PCD, but
PCD, they just
Board.
changed, the board just changed.
That's exactly what I was just saying. Hold that thought for a minute.
How big's the lot you guys are currently on?
Our building that we're in right now, it's roughly like 2,800 square feet is what our building is. I mean, that thing's
Well, and
been,
then the impound yard is located out here, and the dog pound is
Okay,
further
so
out
it's
here.
all-
it's
yeah.
judge's office back there.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like, currently right now, the municipal judge does not have a dedicated office or chambers.
The chambers.
I mean,
he has an office, we use this as the chambers.
so.
Yeah, so bringing it all.
I'll make a phone call.
super efficient.
I'll do a visit tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Well, and, you
And
know,
we'll see.
Yep.
I will talk to you tomorrow more specifically about the lots.
The what?
Lots.
Okay.
So you,
You'll have to call me. I won't be at the office
I'll
tomorrow.
give you, just give me about 24 hours or so.
That's good. The engineering process, do I have permission to start talking with
I
engineers?
think we need to,
You get a request for some kind of proposal, or will be,
RFQs.
yeah.
You need an RFQ or something to get, request a quote, I'm sorry.
Right, so with that, we'd have to get some sort of an engineering process or something done to get us quotes to know how much.
I think there's they get what the engineer might charge.
Oh, quote for the
Yeah.
engineer?
Yeah.
Okay,
get an RFQ for
Then
engineers.
you gotta get it in the paper and do.
Okay.
I got you, Brad.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
sounds great.
Yeah, I think the ball needs to start rolling.
Okay, thank you guys, appreciate it.
Any other add-on, anything before? With that, the next scheduled meeting will be January 12th at 7 o'clock right here, and we will adjourn the meeting.
Merry Christmas.